I will say everybody shows very true colors to their characters in this film that we've seen before, but every one of you also gets to show new sides. And I will say, Tyrese, sir, the leadership that your character has been screaming about for the better part of 2 decades has finally been bestowed upon him in this film. And he's embracing those stripes, shall we say? What was it like for you to sort of have the character's big wish fulfilled?
Well, what you don't know is if we do this again, I'm going to be announcing that I don't want to do it anymore. You know, Vin makes this leadership thing looks real easy, you know what I mean? But no, I just want to say to everybody in the audience and everybody on the stage, rest in peace to my mom. She's always instilled in me, never get too familiar with being blessed. Everything about your life, when you get to wake up and do what you love to do, what a blessing it is. And where would we be without the support that you guys have given us from the beginning? We're just so grateful. And you know, this Roman Pierce journey from Too Fast, Too Furious on out, I had no idea that it was going to be anything beyond 5 minutes. So to be here in Rome and be on this stage and looking at the beauty of so much talent, so many people committed to their craft and contributed to this world, Fast and the Furious. I'm just happy to be a little slice in this big equation, but where would we be without the love that y'all keep giving us? So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. It's so interesting, Jason, sir, with your character when we talk about the love, because when we were introduced to your character, I think a lot of people watching it obviously cast him as a villain. Sorry, son. Appreciate you, sir. But as we've seen through this transition, we've seen through your character, through Shot, like he's done so much to really, I think, redemption is a part of the character as much as anything else. Or maybe you would disagree. I think folks are going to be excited to see his journey in this transition from what was cast as a villain to part of the family.
Look, I think the perception of Shaw is clearly he's a villain from the offset, but from the Shaw family perspective, from my mum's perspective, lovely Dame Helen Mirren, I'm just a son. We're just people doing the right things for mum. Yeah. So that's not really a villainous trait. You know, we do get in the way at times, but I think over the course of the journey that sort of Shaw's had with Dom and the people within the the close family, we do see that Shaw himself is not exactly what he was originally perceived to be. He's certainly just a man of deep-seated principles who likes to really keep things, he can identify right from wrong. And I think if you're on the wrong side of the fence, there's just a lot of mess that's concerned with that side. So I think deep down, he cares a lot about people close, and especially family. I think one of the reasons he created so much carnage was to do with, our brother got hurt. But I think along the way, Dom and Deckard Shaw have become, almost like, very aligned with their sort of reasonings and what they stand for as human beings. And I think they come together to fight a common good. This is just building into a crescendo where, we can actually fight arm in arm to fight this common enemy. So it's nice to see that sort of arc for Deckard Shaw and the Shaw family to not be so persecuted.
Oh, we're going to get to the Shaw family, especially to our Queenie. I want to talk about her, but Sung, it's just surreal. Like, you both are in my eye line, and the internet would lose it with this shot of you two together. The fact that what I know, which they will see, which is that you guys have a moment that if you have cared about either of your characters for any amount of time, and you're a fan of the Fast Saga, you've been interested in what would happen when these two characters have a scene together. Sung, what was that like for you coming into that moment? Because you lived it. You lived this entire experience to now have this sort of be the bookend of that. What was setting up that scene? And let's be honest, you get to kick ass in it. You get to fight in it. You get to really take it to Mr. Shaw.
Well, first, it was an honor to be able to share the screen with, a hero. I'm a fan of what Mr. Statham has accomplished in his career. When you get to work with a master of his craft and to learn. I'm not, an action hero. That's not my, I guess, ethos as an actor. But when you get to meet somebody that has mastered his craft over decades, it's what a wonderful opportunity that is. And then also to be able to service the fan base that is the foundation of, the Fast and Furious franchise, to answer these questions of what does justice mean in this moment for both characters, and the justice, on the surface, one might assume that, it's just, two egos coming to battle, but the justice in this was, Deckard Shaw, his ethos is in the right place, and he does merit being part of the picnic table, the Toretto table. And I think when you see the action scene, or the scene between, Shaw and Han, I feel like justice is served, and Shaw merits being part of the family. So I think it was just really beautiful. It's a beautiful moment, and when action
Downplaying how much you kick his butt, though. I just want to be very clear.
No, and again, to echo what Michelle said, it's like we had great stunt performers and coordinators that make me look good. So yeah.
I love that. It's so great. No, so well said. When you get to a picnic scene, everyone who sits at it has gone through a lot to get there. And so when you sort of join the family, there's lots of things that you have to do. And Scott, little nobody, he starts off as an agent. He's the man when we first get introduced to him. And by this film, I think folks are going to be interested. He has a little bit of a Walter White moment. Like, he's starting to break bad and do it very okay. He's okay with when Dom calls him and he says, I need you to go to Rome. He wants to go. He needs to be there to be on maybe not the right side of the law this time.
Yeah, well, I think it's much easier to play a little bad. And it's a lot more fun. Probably also aligns a little bit more with who I am personally, so.
Good to know.
It's been a good ride.
Has this been a preview of maybe how far are we going to take it in the next one, maybe?
Dom?
Spoilers.
Everyone's always putting me on the spot, do you know what I mean?
Alan, I will say your character, again, I can't wait for folks to see it. It's really a very intense introduction. You're going to have audiences really having emotions about your character instantly, and I say that as a compliment to your acting, sir. You had 12 hours from when you got off the plane to then get on set and have to do your first big scene with Brie, which is nuts.
No pressure, yeah. But it was fun, and I think, coming in with that kind of energy was actually a real gift, because it kind of forces you to stay on your toes and rise to the occasion, and the bar is set so high with this cast. It was just, I think it was the right way to get involved with it, yeah.
I love that so much. And you're a new person joining this cast, which I think is so great that you bring such a dynamic off. Daniela, with you, ma'am, as well, joining this cast. And I will put you on the spot because everyone had this moment at one point to sort of join it, but that's got to be a pretty great phone call. I mean, when they called me and just said they wanted me to do this, I danced around my apartment for a full week. I was like, what, you want me to go to Rome and ask these people questions? Yeah. Sure, it'll be awesome. What was that day like for you to know not only were you going to be a part of the Fast family, but you're going to line up on a racetrack against Dom Toretto and have a scene like that?
My God, for me, I don't know, coming from such a small country as like Portugal, I never had dreams as an actress ever. For me, it would be just like, oh my God, I've been working since I was 17, and I've been doing soap operas, and then I did my first movie, and then I was like, oh my God, I wish I could just rely on movies in Portugal. And then I did my first movie, and then I was like, oh my God, I wish I could work in Europe, like a French movie with a Portuguese character or something. And then I did that movie, and then I was like, and then I stopped dreaming. I was like, for me, that was it. And then I started working internationally, and I never envisioned that. I was like, oh my God, who's upstairs doing this? I don't know what's happening. And then I got that phone call about Fast, and I still don't know how is this everything happening, and I'm so grateful. But for me, it wasn't that moment about the phone call. It was really the moment that I met Vin, and I had the first conversation about the movie after reading the script, and that was when I realized that this isn't just a franchise, this isn't just a movie, it's really a lifetime experience. They live this. They've not been doing this for more than 20 years. They've been living this, and this is their life. And I'm so proud, and I still can't believe that I joined this boat with all these people that I've been looking up from Portugal, and now I don't know, I'm in their lives, and I just hope to be able to keep sharing moments with you for many years.
Oh, it's incredible. It's